My name is Michael Massey, senior at Georgia, studying environmental health science.
My name is Hugh Moore. I recently graduated from the University of Georgia and now I live in Atlanta. I work as an IT consultant.
My name is James Tummel. I am currently working in India in an HIV/AIDS orphanage. I moved to 625 Pulaski House a year ago.
We knew we wanted to live there as soon as we saw it, so this landlady, our landlady was Chatham. She owned the house and she fell in love with us immediately, and that we got a tour around the house, and the only thing in the house that, like, I remember, the only thing was nice. It was beautiful looking, but the only thing that was on the walls or anything on the in the house was this painting. It was more like a picture in a picture frame hanging up in one of the corridors.
It was just kind of like a memorial for this lady who lived there, and we didn't really know what to think about it.
She was standing in front of the basement, really creeped over, hunched over.
It definitely, the picture was just of this woman that just kind of just really made the house eerie.
I think, honestly, things started getting weird pretty much right after we signed the lease.
I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel comfortable in the house. And I don't know, the door, everything's like old, 18th century looking, 19th century looking. And so it was just, older kind of house. And I heard creaks and I heard like noises. It was weird. I felt like I heard footsteps. I heard people walking.
I would call them, "How's the house? You having fun?" And I was getting these responses from like, "It's good, but like some weird stuff is happening there." It's like I'm hearing noises at night, and I'm like, "Yeah, don't worry about it, Mike. You're probably fine."
So finally, the boys moved back in, and so we all lived in the house. And I definitely told them about this house is haunted, like this house is crazy, like it's old. And so we all kind of entertained the thought that the house was haunted, and things just got worse from there.
I was laying in bed trying to go to sleep, and I heard the door open and close, and I kind of got a little scared because I knew Mike wasn't coming home, and I got a little frozen in my bed, just didn't know what to do. And the front door. And so I stayed low for a minute, and nothing happened. I went out and looked, and I didn't see anything, didn't hear anything. Went and laid back in bed and heard something else, and was really thrown off, and I just wanted to leave. I wanted to be out of there. I didn't know what was going on, but I heard some noises that I didn't like. And so I went outside the house and I started looking around. I couldn't see anything, and I literally left the house.
It was interesting. It was in the kitchen. We noticed that this recurring theme that this white cat on the premises, and we realized this cat would always run in circles around the house. And just go in circles, and then it would stop in the middle of the window in the kitchen, look at us, and we would all look back at it, and then it would like sniff or something, like sneeze or something, and it would run around, and then it would go around. But it literally all day and all night, it circled the house all the time.
We just called her Nora because so this picture that I just talked about was in the front of the house, and we kind of saw this cat that circled as symbolic of her, because this lady had cats and she left like 15 of them, to our understanding, around the area, and we just assumed this was one of the offspring.
And I told people like about Nora and all this crazy cat lady, and people, when people come over, I always entertain them with the story.
I think the uneasiness about spirits or anything like that quickly subsided after the first night for me, other than one or two instances that happened in about the middle of our time there.
Went inside the house. I came home one day, and I just was walking walk in the front door, walk through the corridor, walk to the kitchen. But as I was going to the kitchen, I noticed that on the corridor wall where Nora should be, she was not there, and the Lord's Prayer was in her place.
Mike, James, and I were all advocates of keeping the picture right where it was in honor of the 150 years that it's been sitting there.
Andrew had decided to take the picture down from where it was placed and had been for so long, many years it had been there.
So he takes the picture down, puts the Lord's Prayer up, hangs it up in the same spot, and places Nora on the fireplace right when you walk into the house.
So a couple days go by, and that picks up my story where it's New Year's Day, and I'm in like New Year's Day afternoonish, getting to be nighttime, and I'm in the bathroom like brushing my teeth or whatever, and I hear this loud crash, and I don't know where it came from, and I was freaking out, and I literally stopped brushing my teeth, and the music's still playing, and I like leaned out of the the bathroom door to see if I could see like if somebody was like literally about to kill me or whatever, and I noticed as I'm leaning out in the bathroom door, I notice out the front door, I see that the painting is laying face down on the ground.
I get this frantic phone call from Mike, and he's freaking out, and he's like, there's literally a spirit in the house.
I was flipping out. I was like, whoa, what the heck? Like, how did that fall? Like, it's been there sitting there for 5 days, and it didn't fall, and I'm in the house, and I'm like, I'm getting freaked out.
You could hit the walls, you could stomp on the floor, nothing would happen. It was stable up there.
So I was flipping out. All this stuff was going in my head. I'm like, the demon's inside the house. We took it down. We placed it up in the house, and it literally thinks we're taunting it, and he literally threw the painting, the picture, off the manteltop and on the ground, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm all alone by myself. I literally feel like the demon's in the house. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm like, next.
We came in, and the picture is thrown across the room, face down, glass everywhere, and Mike's standing over it.
So me, Hugh, and Charlie, I tell him the whole story. I tell him like what I was doing, and whatever, and just like brush my teeth and elaborate through the whole story of Andrew taking them down or whatever, and then we're all huddling around this painting.
We pick up the picture. All of us were like, okay, we are safe to do this. We pick it up.
It's broke. It's cutting away where like we only see her. I was like, and we all like started freaking out. And I'm like in my room, and I'm like yelling and Hugh's yelling, and we're all like nervous and nerve wracking, and and like I said, it was like New Year's Day when all this is happening, and as we go in and as we look at the painting again, and Charlie's holding, we all huddle back over Charlie again, and we look over to the left, and we realize that the banner was there, and it says Happy New Year's on the banner. And Charlie dropped the painting, dropped the picture, and we all yelled, and we freaked out. Because I think it was the moment, it had to be, it was a mere coincidence that this picture threw itself off the mantle for about there's 2 bikes underneath it. It didn't hit the bikes, it didn't fall like this, because it would have hit the bikes, but it somehow ejected itself off the mantle and landed on the ground. Like, physically, it made no sense where the painting landed.
I came in the door, and I just remember them all just freaking out, telling me the story, and just not believing it at all, and just like, Mike, you did this, I know you did this, like just not having any belief that something like that was possible, and then definitely we all of us together, we just really got together and got really scared.
We elected Mike to call Chatham, and so Chatham, of course, was up already.
She told us a story there where actually her name's not Nora, it's Hallie Sue, or Haley Sue, and Haley Sue lived there for numerous years, and she worked at the factory down on Chase Street. But there was a time where she just couldn't do it anymore. She was getting old, and she stopped working. Things got really bad. The house started falling apart. She's had a bunch of cats, 15 or so cats. What she would do, what Haley would do, is that as each cat died, she would go out in the backyard and bury the cats. She didn't really talk to anybody at this point. She didn't have any water. She didn't have any electricity. She was shut off from society pretty much. And her brother would come up, knock on her door, and leave milk in the glass jars. Her brother talked to Chatham, saying what should we do, how should we approach this, and the situation happened and life happened, and she ended up dying.
And so we find all of this out, and we just sat around for a little bit, and we're talking about it. And I think the next thing was what threw us off the most. So we're all in the kitchen looking stuff up online. James, Mike, myself, and no one else is home. No one else is coming home. And all of a sudden we hear, this is about an hour and a half after the picture crashes, we hear a huge thud and just toppling of something. We had no idea what it was, but we heard all this stuff come crashing down in the same room as the picture, and I've never been so scared in my life.
That night, I was terrified.
What about it was terrifying you?
I think just the guys, just they believed so firmly that there was a ghost in the house, and their fear made me very fearful. I was scared that there was a ghost in the house, and I had not thought that before. I had been skeptical up to that point.
We even prayed over the house. We prayed like to the point of just like, you know, we know that something's in this house and we want it to be gone.
I thought about jumping out the window and running, and I thought about confronting the area with a knife in my hand, and I did after a little while, probably about 10 minutes of shaking and trying to cast the demon out from that room by yelling at it and praying and that kind of stuff.
What makes you think that it wasn't just the house moving around or the house creaking in the night? And because, you know, people always talk about how their houses creak at night. Like, what makes you believe that these things are real and that they're tangible?
Right. Man, that's a heavy question. Well, I think to boil it down, I guess, I do believe in spirits. I do believe in the supernatural world as much as this physical world. I do believe in that we're not just walking around here. I think there's an omnipotent figure looking down at us. It's created. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. So, you know, where did energy come from?
I believe that this stuff is definitely happening. I believe that there's a spiritual warfare going on around us. I believe that that yes, we're facing demons every single day in our lives. We're facing the demons of sin. We're facing just demons of our, you know, just our desires, our wants, our needs. I mean, there's so many demons that are among us. But there's also there's a good force as well. And you know, I know that to somebody who doesn't have faith, it's hard to believe that all this crazy stuff is going on. But I definitely believe in it, and I you know, I can't explain the Nora situation. Yeah, there's definitely times that were I felt literally attacked by demons in the house. Like, you know, whether that was Nora or something we made up, I'm not sure. But I definitely know that's what's going on around us, and I definitely believe in that. So
I believe there's a spiritual realm where there's battles fought over good and evil, and I don't know what all that looks like. I can't claim to know, but I fully believe through my personal experiences and just personal study that there is a spiritual realm. Cool.
I'm going to make another